Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is RemovableSanity, and today I'm reviewing Replaced on the Series X, developed by Sad Cat Studio and published by Thunderfall Publishing. So what is Replaced? Replaced is a 2.5D cinematic action platformer wrapped up in an intense cyberpunk thriller narrative. The premise is you play as Reach, an AI in a human body who must expose the corporation's hidden agenda and uncover the purpose behind your creation. The game boasts the ability to chain precise melee strikes with satisfying ranged attacks, intense storyline, fluid platforming, and lots of hidden secrets. First up is accessibility. With regards to accessibility, the developers have provided some options such as subtitle size, background opacity, and simplified font. The game does allow button remapping, but in relation to audio and visual options, these are basic. So, should you have hearing, motor, or visual issues, this may not be the game for you. Next is gameplay. Like many, I saw the 2020 trailer for this game and was immediately hooked on its aesthetics and potential 2.5D gameplay. So the question is, after some delays and the developers having to work around the war in Ukraine, does it hold up? Let's find out. The game starts off with you as the protagonist, Warren, who is working on an AI called Reach that was built to selectively sort through humanity regarding compatibility. The reason being is that a disease has struck humanity in an alternative past, and to survive, replacement body parts and organs are needed, from which the government has deemed disposals. Humans that are effectively walking spare parts for the rich. An incident happens which sees the AI in question taking over Warren's body, and in a bid for survival attempts to leave the facility from which it was created. This is effectively the tutorial stage and gives you the basics of combat and platforming. Early on, you gain a gun that can turn into a baton, with it later being turned into a fully fledged gun with one big caveat. You need to attack to charge it up, with strikes to be able to fire a shot, with its battery slowly depleting when not attacking. Combat is more of a dance, similar to that of the combat in Batman Arkham Asylum. Visual cues indicate an incoming attack, and it's up to you to dodge, counter, and attack your way out. Red means attack that needs to be dodged, whilst yellow means it can be countered. As you progress, more attributes come online, which is perfect to deal with the new enemies thrown at you. You'll soon be cutting open shields with a pickaxe, exploding heads with stylized execution animations, reflecting enemies' bullets back at them, and overdriving to allow for a Wild West clip unloading. Most battles will be with several enemies against you, so careful choreography of your moves is needed to ensure you come out on top. This is the first slight issue I do have with the game, as it seems that you cannot deflect 2 shots in a row, with what seems like a breather before being able to do so. Not an issue if there's only one bad guy firing at you, but near the later levels you're soon being shot at like a fish in a barrel. Next is the platforming and puzzle solving elements of the game, which again does suffer some niggles. The most deaths I had in this game was due to the platforming, specifically when trying to use a pickaxe to grab hold of walls or grab onto a bar. The precision needed to press the button at the correct moment you jump next to said location capable of supporting you is minute. Often I pressed a button a fraction or 2 seconds later or too early, which would then see me plummet to my death. Not a big issue as this can be patched later, but one that may cause frustrations for some. Puzzles within the game are not overly complicated and mostly situated around hacking, where you need to get the correct image to fill in a blank spot. These provide a nice respite from the platforming and fighting, ensuring that there's always something to challenge your brain. The game does feature an autosave, which is nice. I do think the locations need to be looked into, as some locations mean you have to traverse a number of complicated platforming tasks right before you then went into several fights. Lose within the fight and you're sent back to the platforming location, which could again add to the frustration. Now, all of this sounds like I wasn't keen on the game, but nothing could be further from the truth, as even with these issues I enjoyed my time immensely, wanting to see where Reach was going to be thrown into next. Up next is graphics. The game's graphics was what caught my attention from the beginning, and it's safe to say the 2.5D polyaesthetic art style is superb. The combination of cyberpunk and pixel art oozes visually stunning backdrops. Within these locations are often lore and songs and hidden upgrades that expand the experience. The landscapes range from beautiful neon skylines, gloomy sewers, deteriorating cities and high-tech labs, with every location feeling like a great PC background in the waiting. The train station hub is one of the best locations in the game, showcasing its bustling life of a downtrodden society. It is then combined with one of the smoothest camera styles I have witnessed in a long time, with sweeping shots, close-ups and action-orientated snap cuts that work perfectly with the action on screen. Lighting is also second to none, with its well-placed illumination to get the very best out of each shot. However, again there is an issue, because when a game focuses on the style, it forgets the action, as a bright illumination in the background is superb for a static setting, but nightmare for an action one. Why, you may ask? Well, these stunning backlight drops wash out the enemy visual prompts, causing the player unnecessary frustration in trying to work out when to counter. Story-wise, the game is at its very best at the beginning, with the AI horrified it's stuck in a meat sack and soon becomes desperate to reverse the situation. As the story progresses, it introduces a very well written main story characters and even side NPCs that spell out the frustrations and humanity of those around them. My favourite by far was a little gamer girl who's addicted to arcades and allows you to play the mini games whenever you are in her location. That said, the story does have a bit of an uneven flow, as near the middle and end it goes from an intense to a more softened approach. By far the best elements was the NPC quests, as these hit the perfect combination of heart-warming and heart-wrenching. Side quests are also a must-do, as these provide significant upgrades to health and energy, allowing you to take on more enemies. Speaking of enemies, these are slowly introduced as you make your way through the game, from heavies that you need to destroy the armor beforehand, to ninja-like attackers that can only be dealt with by counters. Finally, it's sound. The game has no voice acting, choosing to have lore and dialogue in written format. Regardless, the writing is well done for the most part, and does sell the cyberpunk brutal world that you want to explore. The game's environmental sound is basic, a little bit forgettable, although varied enough to ensure that your day-to-day travels are engaging as you make your way through the story. The music is a collection of flute, drum and bass and synthwave piano harmonics. The game allows you to access your personal Wingman 2 device, an in-box Walkman that allows you to see all the lore, music and objectives at your disposal. This looks great, but a slight frustration is not being able to choose the music I've collected and play it whilst I play the game, being limited to only listening to these superb tracks when using said Walkman. Combat sounds are very well done to ensure the weight of your weapons hitting is visceral, and the finishes are memorable in their brutality. My recommendation here would be a good quality headset to listen to the action as you take down the numerous foes. And this leads me to the rating of the game. Now, I rate games in order of avoid, on sale, great purchase and must own. My rating for Replaced is a great purchase. Yes, the game does have its issues, and from what I can tell, the developer is listening and fixing all of them in a quick turnaround. I'd love to be able to have a level selector which highlighted my collectible missing, or even be able to play the songs when I feel like it. The game is currently priced on Xbox at £16.99, or approximately $20, and depending on your skill and patience, would give you about 9+ hours to complete. but with the number of collectibles on offer, this will more likely be 15 plus hours to get them all. There is no new game plus, but hints by the developers are that this may be coming. And if you have Game Pass Ultimate on Xbox, this is free for you to experience. The developers managed to do something almost impossible, which was create a game that matched the trailer. It hit the itch I needed and kept me engaged from start to finish, even with some of its niggles it has currently. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I do hope you like this review, and if you do, please like, share and subscribe if you so wish. And if you would like to put some notes or even just a comment in the comment section, I do like reading them. Anyway, have a great time gaming, and I'll see you all again soon.